What is going on, guys? Craig 1287 here. I'm bringing you yet another Battlefield 4 video going on there in the background. Just a random round, nothing all that special. Main thing I wanted to talk about for this video is the fact that the weapons and gadgets have pretty much leaked that are going to be released in the soon-to-be released Dragon's Teeth DLC that's coming out in summer. It's one of the guys at Synthic, those genius mathematician-y code breaking people, went and looked at some of the stuff that came in one of the client updates recently. They were going through the code and they did some stuff that smart people do, and were able to find out what some of the what the weapons are going to be and some of the gadgets. What the gadgets are going to be is we're going to see two new EOD bot kind of things like what we currently have. One is going to be equipped with a minigun, and the other one is going to have the 3-round 40mm grenade launcher. So that's probably going to be the 40mm 3-shot grenade launcher that we saw in Naval Strike. Don't know if it'll be reduced in power or anything. I mean, that thing, for the most part, kind of sucked already. And then as for the minigun one, I don't know if that thing's gonna... I mean, they're gonna have to nerf it versus the version that's on the rib and transport choppers just a bit, because, I mean, that thing's gonna always be on land, not flying through the air or bouncing up on waves. And you're in a safe position when using it, because these are both going to be operated like the normal EOD bot is, through a device it's with the screen and things like that, like a PDA. So they're probably going to have that thing overheat real quick or something of that sort, reduce its damage, because otherwise those could potentially be too dangerous. Next, the Ballistic Shield is in the files, and it's been guaranteed, confirmed to be a gadget, not a primary weapon, secondary weapon. It will be taking one of the gadget slots. So, that's kind of cool. Not sure how the attacking for it will be done. All we know is that these are listed in the files, so they don't know anything like animations or anything of that sort. So if you can hit people with the Ballistic Shield, if you can have your pistol out when you have the shield, if you knife when having the... None of that has been figured out yet. Also, they found some of the emblems and whatnot, and that was what led them to, or not emblem, but a medal, and that was what led them to one of the new weapons in the game, and that is going to be one of the new, they don't know exactly for sure whether it is going to be a carbine or not, but I'll post an image up right now, and it kind of looked like the Walter 2000. But this thing is actually not that. It's not the Walter semi-auto sniper rifle. So here's what the weapon is. It's the Bulldog 7.62. So it's a bullpup style weapon. Could be an assault rifle. Could be a carbine. Not all that sure right now. Next weapon is a classic that has been in a lot of games. Never a Battlefield title. Probably because the Battlefield titles typically try to be more authentic to what military forces that are in the game would use. And this is the Desert Eagle, or the Deagle, as Counter-Strike community kind of pretty much coined it. And yeah, not sure. Typically people associate it with being a 50 caliber pistol. It can shoot other calibers. I've shot this in different calibers before, and I mean, it kicks like a mule either way. I don't know. I hope it doesn't get Magnum damage model, but too fast a rate of fire. If they're going to give it the Magnum, 44 Magnum damage model or something like that, where this thing could potentially one-shot with a headshot, and it'll probably hold up to 7, 8, or 9 rounds. Just kind of depends on how they're going to do the balancing. But hopefully this thing does not end up being one OP of a pistol. The next one is yet another secondary weapon, and this is the Unica 6. It is fairly modern. It was released in around the 90s, and it's a revolver. 6-round revolver. Not sure how they'll do the balancing for this one. This will be now our 4th revolver that we have in Battlefield 4. there's not too many different ways you can balance the revolvers. I'm sure it'll be some rate of fire, difference in damage. All the revolvers, they have their own damage model. But this one, I think the big make or break as to whether it's popular or not is going to be the trigger delay that we have. So we'll just have to see how that is handled. Second to last weapon that they found in the game files is the SIG MPX. And basically, this is probably going to be a PDW, probably going to be an engineer weapon. Typically, it's associated as a 9mm for its cartridge that it fires. So yeah, probably going to be a PDW. And it looks pretty cool. It's kind of like a MP5 in a way. So very interested to see what happens with that, because that's probably the most recent weapon out of all these. I think it was announced by SIG back in 2013, so pretty darn recent. And finally, there is the CS5 Sniper rifle. This thing it's a bolt-action rifle, but it seems like it might in the game in Battlefield 4 be a suppressed rifle by default, kind of like how we had for the VSS in Bad Company 2. And how the ASVAL is handled in its many different iterations for Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. So it'll be pretty interesting to see if that is how that one is handled. So yeah, guys, there you have it. New gadgets, new interesting gadgets that it might potentially be OP, and some new weapons. So it'll be interesting to see what the maps end up being like and what the new game mode is introduced. So yeah, guys, I'm pretty excited about this. I'm digging these weapons. Definitely, they're all new weapons to Battlefield franchise, so that's pretty darn cool. Yeah, it's always nice to see them bringing back things like the XM8. Man, I would love for them to bring back the XM8, but new weapons are always very cool. In fact, in my opinion, I think they're much cooler to have new weapons being brought in, especially for a game that takes place slightly in the future. Don't want to see old weapons, want to see some new stuff. So, guys, hope you enjoyed the gameplay. Have a good one. Ta-ta.